How's it going, folks? Circle on up, form the mosh pit. We are going to be checking out two songs by Black Gryphon related to the Amazing Digital Circus. I checked these out a little bit ago. I want to check them out again because they're freaking amazing. Jester, Pomni's song, and Knock Knock Who Cares, Jax's song. If you guys know, you know. If you haven't seen the Amazing Digital Circus, you really do need to check it out. It is quite a interesting show and very well done. And the music for it's really good too. And what fans have done is really good, as you're going to see here. But I'm going to let him speak for himself. I love that intro.
What's going on? Where am I? What happened? And why don't I know my name? Am I losing it? Am I going insane? Why did I ever pop up in headset on? I just needed a break, but now it looks like I'm stuck in this game.
Okay, so I've heard a few Amazing Digital Circus songs, and I think what makes Black Gryphon stand out is obviously actually writing. His writing's really good. He knows how to craft a song. But I think what makes this so good is obviously giving Lizzie Freeman notes for how to sing the song in such a bouncy way. Obviously, she's the character of Pomni, so she's able to give that style really well. You know, have all that emotion of, if you know the story, not being sure what's going on, trying to understand how she got stuck in this digital hellscape. But even little things, and I don't even know what you would call it, but the little that started off the song before she said, "What's going on?" and then with the bass after that. I don't know what you would call that, a riser. It sucks you in to the sort of chiptune style and the electronic style of this song. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's just all these little things that he does with these songs to make it so good. Because anyone can just rap over a trap beat about a character, you know, or find some chill step thing where you write some sonorous, words about a character's growth and development. But to have all these little stylistic things that fit the feel of the show is just incredible. And that's all I'm going to say about that, so I don't have to keep repeating it the whole time. Let's go.
Now it looks like I'm stuck in.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, even adding, put that bleepin' headset on, that was something in the show as well, where they couldn't swear, and it just censored out everything they said. So, nice little, again, stylistic thing here.
Why did I ever pop up in headset on? I just needed a break, but now it looks like I'm stuck in this game.
Welcome to our digital, whimsical, eternal parade, where we've got infinite adventures.
I love the piano.
Parties to play. No need to fight it. Get excited. Start accepting your fate. You'll be here day after day after day after.
Welcome to our
Oh. Oh, God. I adore how they designed Pomni's cutesy character, because there's so much you can do with that. Sure, you get big eyes, you get frowns, you get things like that, but the way that they design it so that in this video they're able to make her just look completely, not only not happy with where she is, but almost dissociated, like completely detached, where she's like, just not like, what's going on here? It's so good. I love it. And then we go back to this motif of the computer. Different setting than. No, actually, it's the same room here. That's cool. So continuing to the computer, which is a theme that they kind of touched on in the original show. That there was some sort of office place where Pomni plugged into the whole thing, but they haven't taken time to look at that in more detail, so it's just cool that they bring that back. So
Swear I saw an exit here. Did it disintegrate? There's got to be a way for me to get away. And I refuse to let that pair of dentures tell me I am here to stay. But when I close my eyes, I still can hear him say.
and then that's a great bridge to the chorus. It sounds all whimsical and ding 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 ding, like just very, very cool. And I think that's that's something I meant to say with Kane as well, that they bring in kind of I can't even think of how to word it. They just bring in his, because he comes across as like trying to act like, yes, I'm totally in control of everything, and this is what you need in your life. But you can see how it's it unravels as the show goes. So I just like how they build the instrumental up to that chorus, is what I meant to say.
Welcome to our digital, whimsical, eternal parade, where we've got infinite adventures, games, and parties to play. No
It's like she's trying to not freak out. Dude, I love that effect.
You'll be here day after day after day after. Welcome to our
She's not half of the time. But Ragatha's getting it over there. I think what's really unique about that is, and I think that's what makes her expressions, like ingratiates us to her expressions and everything, is it's not like Kane is putting them through hell necessarily. I mean, he is in his own way, but all the other characters have accepted it, and they've come to get what's going on. But when she's looking so distraught, it's because that's what's going on with her, not being able to process what's happening, and she's struggling in that way. It's not even like there's these external stressors necessarily. There's the external factor of not knowing what's going to happen and being put in potentially life and death situations, but they've, if you've seen the show, they've never really encountered anything too disastrous, if that makes sense. I feel like I have to choose my words carefully, but it's like so much of it is just based on her not being able to process what's happening. And I think that's why it's just like when she has those freakouts, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's going on. So.
I can't remember when did I become a jester. The authors say we can't be free. The lost is me. I need to stay calm and I can't.
I love that transition.
If I don't keep my cool, I might end up abstracting. I don't know my name, but I'm stuck in his game. So for now, all I can do is say.
So before we get into the chorus here, I really like the little chiptune effects on her voice. I can't lose my head. Like it immediately shows what the bigger issue is, that if you're losing your mind, if you start losing your ability to hold on mentally, you start abstracting. So I think that's one of the craziest things of the whole dynamic of the show. It's not even about the other things happening to them necessarily, as it is your own mind losing the battle, and then what happens as a consequence. So the fact that they tie that into how her voice is edited is just crazy good. It's so awesome.
Welcome to this digitally whimsical eternal parade where they've got infinite adventures so we don't go insane. Try not to let my mind until we find a way to escape. I'll be here day after day after day after day after day.
Welcome to our digitally whimsical eternal parade, where we've got infinite.
And sorry, when I first looked at this, I thought it was so weird that the setting was so dark. I was like, why? I think it means two things. One, it's right before they open the curtain, so they are behind the stage and the lights haven't gone on them yet. But I think also it just shows that it's I totally forgot the second part. I'll figure it out later. I think basically all I meant with that was just, it's behind the curtain where they're standing, so everything's blacked out, but also it shows the internal, things aren't happy for her. There's no lights, there's nothing, and she's trying to come to terms with what's gone on. And in that mental darkness, she's accepted it. So she's just like, okay, yeah, we're totally fine with this now. And I thought it was such a weird aesthetic when I first looked at it, but I think that's what it is. So it's just so well done. Incredible job. So I'm just going to say this too before we get into this too far. Same thing as the other song. All these little stylistic things in the instrumentation, the very distant echoing of the voices, which I think is some of the screams and sounds of abstraction from the show itself. All of that so perfectly shows the style of what we're seeing in the song. And also just the very echoey knock. If you know the show, I'm not going to take too much more time to explain it, but it's those little things that makes this so good.
Here we go again.
Anybody who knows me at all knows that nobody knows me at all. Hey everybody, let's all take a peek at the tall purple freak. He's the jerk with the joke of the week. Who needs him? Well, maybe I know they need me to pretend it's a joke, it's a game till the end. 'Cause something tells me we're all gonna die. Even worse, we'll survive, and it knocks at the back of my mind.
Knocks at the back of the mind. The whole idea of someone knocking the door to, be let into his life, but also some of the situations that he's encountered, knocking at the back of your mind, something just like you can't get it out of your head. It's just there, irritating you. Those things are so well written. And what they said, at worst will survive. This was a perspective that I never even considered when I was watching this show, because I didn't like Jax at all. I was like, he's a jerk. He just, he has some moral superiority complex, and he's an idiot. And of course, he's the bad boy that all the girls like, which I still don't get that idea. But the idea that he kind of needs it for his own mental safety, as well as thinking, hey, if I'm able to act like I don't care about something, that might get everyone else to feel a little bit more relaxed, even if I'm faking it. And I would have never thought of that perspective at all. So incredible.
Gonna die, even worse, we'll survive, and it knocks at the back of my mind. I hear the knocking almost everywhere. Sick of pretending that I'm unaware. Hate to admit it, but I'm getting scared. Oh, knock, knock, who cares? Never gonna catch me acting scared. Oh, don't cry, don't scream. Cool as can be, try to stop me if you dare. Knock, knock, who cares? Oh, knock, knock, who cares? I'm never.
So, yeah. Is this the first video I officially cry on with this? Seriously. It kind of surprised me when I first checked out this song. And, I realized oh, shoot, this isn't just some dude who's like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm too good for everybody, and that's why I'm being rude and mean and disrespectful. No, I'm just as scared as everybody else. I can barely hold on like anybody else, but the way that I'm handling it, the way that I figured that it would be better for me to handle myself and handle the situation around me is act like I don't care. Because that keeps me at an arm's distance from other people, which we see, some probable examples of how that affected him in the show. But then also keep me away from trying to give into any sort of hope. I don't ever have to hope that I'm going to be out of this. I don't ever have to hope that things are going to be okay. It's that whole idea, which I think a lot of us have felt in small doses. If I lower my expectations, I'm never going to be disappointed. If I just never think anything good's going to happen to me, then everything in life is going to be unexpected. It's going to be an unexpected good thing, because all I'm going to expect is bad things. I know that feels like such a cheat code, especially for some of us when we're younger and trying to figure things out. So the fact that they tie that into a character, what are you doing over there? Get back in there, is so incredible. And I'm ready to think that it was probably just the fact that I was not, processing that part of him in the show itself. Maybe they just did such a good job keeping that side of him under wraps that I couldn't even detect that was his, bigger perspective on things. But that's why I love guys like Black Gryphon making it so apparent that is what's going on. It's crazy. So who needs them? It's a response to who needs him, where people were willing to consider him not worth love and attention. And I think that whole idea of like going from, analytically, it's not going to help me to ever make friends again because it's all going to end. And then, by the way, they're annoying. Like just those little tiny ways that defensively we can push people back. It's like when someone gets petty in an argument. Yeah, well, you did this thing and that's what jeopardized this business situation. And also, by the way, I hate your tie. Like, okay, well, the second part, you're just, it's just more vapid emotion in an effort to try and distance yourself. I just think that's incredibly written stuff. I love it.
Worse, they're depressed. I'm surrounded by idiots. Who needs them? And let's pretend that
And also, that whole thing, and at worst, they're depressed. That implies that he doesn't think he's ever been there, or at least he's never shown it. Important.
I care, which I don't. By idiots. Who needs them? And let's pretend that I care, which I don't. I would help if I could, but I won't. 'Cause something tells me we're all gonna die. Even worse, we'll survive, and it knocks at the back of my mind. I hear the knocking almost everywhere. Sick of pretending that I'm unaware.
And the fact he gets more abstracted is just crazy editing.
Knock, knock, who cares? Never gonna catch me acting scared. Oh, don't cry, don't scream. Cool as can be, try to stop me if you dare. Knock, knock, who cares? Oh, knock, knock, who cares? Calm down, you're fine. This is all in your mind. Cruel jokes can hide the feelings building inside.
The thing, though, about that is, okay, yes, we get this moment where he's having that behind the scenes moment of depression where he's like, okay, trying to regulate. Cruel jokes can hide the feelings burning inside. I think it's pretty easy to understand that the more aggressive you push out at something like that, the even more there's those feelings building up. So it's, yeah, sure, it hides it, but it also betrays the severity of what you're pushing down, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Incredible introspective moment here.
Cruel jokes can hide the feelings building inside. They're not your friends, you don't care about them. You don't need to pretend, soon it's all gonna end. You've seen it happen again.
You don't have to pretend, soon it's all going to end. I think that's him trying to convince himself that he doesn't care. You don't have to pretend like you don't care. I know you don't care because XYZ. You don't like these guys. They're not your friends. You don't need friends. I mean, when you do that kind of thing, it's kind of obvious. If you have to tell yourself you don't need this, I think you've done enough to show that you want it, you know? Anyway, so good. And I also wanted to say too, because I remember this from last time, the way that this whole scene gets all the more washed out and distorted and glitchy because he's losing it, just like with what we talked about with Pomni. It's so good. I love it. So, and he's seen loss happen, so he's like, okay, I'm not going to ever want this.
Knock, knock, who's there?
Knock, knock, who cares?
And then that, I forgot about that. Oh, that's so good. Excuse me. The key change. I forgot about that. The key change, moving on up to something positive. Oh, it's in that major key. We're singing even louder and higher, and we're acting all happy when it's the saddest point in the song. Oh, that's so good.
Knock, knock, who cares? Never gonna catch me.
And look at him, he's going crazy. It's like
Don't cry, don't scream. Ghouls
Like, look at that. Holy smokes. Dude. And I think that is symbolic of when Pomni came in. Pomni was one of the first people to kind of be like, well, let's actually look at the situation. Let's look at what we can actually do. I think that was a threat to where Jax was, you know, in that perspective of you know, maybe trying to fix things, trying to find a way out, and then figure out in his own way, no, I don't want to try anymore. So, yeah. Also, that whole just, it's like that moment for every villain when they have that moment of clarity where they're like, oh yes, this is perfect. Like the fact that he sings it so positively. They're not your friends, you don't care about them. Like, just it's so just beautiful. Like, dude. Dude. So good. Well, if my stupid emotional outburst was anything to speak of, please support Black Gryphon, Michael Kovac, The Amazing Digital Circus. The links to these songs are going to be in the description. Please go support this guy. And that's really all I got to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.